Sermon 26. Commentary. Part 1 of the sermon is a classic depiction of pre-Islamic Arabia, Jahiliyyah, tribal warfare, idolatry, harsh desert life, and moral decay. This was a standard theme in early Islamic sermons to highlight the transformative miracle of the Prophet's mission. With reference to Part 2 of the sermon, this refers to the immediate aftermath of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's death in 11 AH, and the events of Saqifa, where Ali found himself isolated except for his immediate family, Fatima, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Salman, Abu Dhar, and the close companions like Miqdad. Imam Ali chose restraint to avoid further bloodshed and civil war among the nascent Muslim community. With reference to Part 3, this describes the cynical political deal in 37 AH between Muawiyah and Amr ibn As, who was a shrewd Qurayshi opportunist. Muawiyah promised Amr ibn As lifelong governorship of Egypt in exchange for his military and political support against Imam Ali. This pact solidified Syrian loyalty to Muawiyah and prolonged the civil war. Ibn Maytham al-Bahrani in his Sharh of Nahj al-Balagha states that the description of Jahiliyyah is not mere history, but proof of the Prophet's unparalleled achievement. In 23 years, he transformed the most backward society into the vanguard of civilization. When Imam Ali says, "I close my eyes despite moats," this is one of the most poignant metaphors for Imam Ali's forbearance, hilm, during the usurpation of his rights. He endured unbearable pain to preserve Muslim unity. Allama Majlisi, in his Bihar, quotes narrations from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, confirming that the bitter colocynth symbolizes the caliphates of the first three rulers. Imam Ali alayhi salam swallowed the bitterness of injustice rather than plunge the ummah into immediate fitna. The curse on the buyer and the seller of allegiance is evidence that political deals based on worldly gains are invalid and cursed, even if dressed in religious slogans. Allama Tabatabai states that the progression of the three parts shows the tragic cycle from Jahiliyyah to prophethood to light. Prophet's death to regression, the return of Jahiliyyah traits, tribalism, power grabbing. Patience is the best to victory. This is a true victory belongs to the patient even if apparent defeat occurs. Contemporary scholars such as Ayatollah Mukarram Shirazi and Jawad Amali state that Part 1 is used in Dawah to illustrate Islam's civilizational revolution. Part 2 is the primary textual proof of Imam Ali's deliberate restraint after the Prophet's death, peace be upon him, not weakness, but strategic wisdom to protect the young Muslim nation. And Part 3 is quoted as condemnation of political opportunism and the buying-selling of loyalty, a timeless warning against leaders who trade principles for power. The excerpts from Sermon 26 are regarded as a concise history of the Prophet's mission and its fragility after his passing, the clearest expression of Imam Ali's painful isolation and superhuman patience in the face of injustice. It is also a devastating exposure of the moral bankruptcy between Muawiyah's rise, a deal purchased with Egypt's wealth in exchange for perpetuating civil war. The metaphors, moats in eyes, choking throat, bitter colocynth, are considered among the most emotionally powerful in Arabic literature, conveying the depth of the Ahlul Bayt's suffering, while highlighting the unwavering commitment to the greater good of Islam. These passages are frequently recited during majalis to invoke the tragedy of the post-prophetic era and the loneliness of the rightful Imam.